Hey, what's happening? This is Isai Rodriguez, host of the Destination Podcast, where I cater to the professional working man, 40 and above, who's looking to make positive changes to his health, lose weight, and become stronger overall through simple lifestyle changes. I'm here to share inspiration, tips, and proven lessons that I've personally learned and lived through in my 40 plus years on this beautiful blue planet. So today we'll start the discussion off by talking about the best food for brain health in our first segment. And then we'll move on to our second segment and talk about the 5-minute core shredding workout. Before we get into that, if you'd like to join the conversation, then get on over to podcast.daspination.com/VIP to enroll in our insiders community, where I share more entertaining behind-the-scenes stories, tips, and hacks that'll keep you feeling younger each and every day. That's podcast.daspination.com/VIP. Again, that's podcast.daspination.com/VIP. Be in the know starting right now. Also, don't forget to rate me on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you're listening to this episode right now. And leave me a nice, fat, juicy 5-star review and some absolutely beautiful words of why you love the show so much. It really helps me get the word out, and it's honestly the one place where your vote truly matters. And now, let's move into our first segment with Healthy Conversations. All right, that introduction always gets me hyped up. But anyway, what are we talking about today in this week's installment of Healthy Conversations? So, I labeled it the best food for brain health. And so I talk a lot about, living to 100 and beyond, And when I picture myself in my older, more wiser years, I like to believe that my mind will just be like, it'll be just as sharp as, this might be a bad analogy, but Sophia from the Golden Girls, how she's just like on it, sure. I still want to be able to go for walks around the neighborhood and get in, on any shuffleboard games that might be happening, but I definitely want my brain to still be strong too, And as is the case with any health goal, preparing for the future means you need to be thinking in the present. So, you need to be planning now and have a game plan now. This is the time that we need to be thinking about this. In fact, there's a functional medicine doctor named Mark Hyman who talks about this a lot. He talks about, he talks about it a lot in his books, specifically focusing on how food can benefit brain health, both in the immediate and the, long term. So immediate and long-term effects of how food can benefit your brain health. And, recently or relatively recently, he revealed his number one favorite brain boosting food on Instagram. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a hint though. We've talked about this food in the past. Actually, I'd have to look back at the transcripts of some of the early shows, but I think I even mentioned the benefits to brain health also. It's actually come up in past episodes. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it, but like I said, I've got to review my transcripts to see for sure if I did or not. Oh, by the way, I'm thinking of putting together transcripts now that I brought that out. I was thinking about that. And I'm thinking about putting the transcripts together for all of my shows. And I'm not sure if I want to give that away as a thank you or to everyone in the community, or maybe letting people access the transcripts on on an episode by episode basis. I'm kind of trying to figure that out. I was also thinking of creating a Facebook group with different freebies and stuff. Access to transcripts to everyone in the group would be just one of those freebies. But anyway, I didn't want to veer off too much. I was just wanted to drop that in there, let you know of some developments I've got going on. But I mean, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and let me know. But moving on, do you have any guess as to what the food item is? I'll give you one last hint, and this one should practically give it away. And it's that it's high in mercury. Nothing yet? All right. I think I've stalled enough. We're talking about fish. Fish is the best brain food, bar none. And actually, seafood in general is the best source of protein that you can get, period. They're basically stuffed with nutrients like selenium and iodine and let's not forget vitamin D and the B12s and whatnot. But the biggest benefit of eating fish is the omega-3 fatty acids that you can only get in fish. Like you cannot get them from anything else other than fish. Well, I guess aside from taking some premium supplements, but aside from that, you can't get them from anywhere else, But these fatty acids, better known as DHA and what's the other? EPA. It makes fish the protein of choice for so many healthy eaters out there. In fact, it's said that eating salmon twice a week is enough to cut your risk of heart attack and stroke. Think about that. It's also enough, they say, that to lower your blood pressure, just eating salmon twice a week. And this is not exclusive to just salmon. They mention that because that's the fish that most people like to eat. But you can get similar benefits from smaller fish like sardines and herring and trout and mackerel and anchovies, actually. There's also a lot of data that shows that omega-3 fats will also protect you from crap, for lack of better terms, like type 2 diabetes and inflammation and autoimmune disease and even depression, So again, there's a ton of benefits that come from eating fish. But specifically, these two fatty acids, the DHA and EPA, they've been strongly linked to benefiting both the heart and the brain. And you know me and things that are efficient, I like how you get these two super duper benefits from one food. Again, think about this. Next to your lungs, the heart and brain are like the most important organs in your body, But here's the thing though, your selection of fish is kind of important, So you see, it's actually recommended that you lower the amount of certain fish that you eat, in particular like tuna and swordfish, king mackerel. I gotta be specific with that. King mackerel, catfish, Chilean sea bass, tilefish. Like these are all fish that you need to limit the amount that you eat of, So they say that these aren't as good as the other fish that we mentioned earlier. Again, like the salmon and sardines, anchovies, because they tend to be higher in mercury. This is bad stuff, this. And this next little tidbit was news to me too. So apparently there are like different labels to look out for. These labels take into account the different codes and guidelines provided by government agencies. And these agencies, like they basically set regulations that require fisheries to fight against overfishing, so that they have like a minimal impact on the environment and other requirements, So one of the biggest labels out there is one called the Marine Stewardship Council. I never knew this before, but yeah, you can look for the label on fish packaging that you buy at the supermarket. Now, obviously, if you're going down to the fish market on Fulton Street in New York City, or, wherever the market is in your town, then obviously they may not have that stamp of approval right then and there. I mean, you'll be haggling fresh caught fish that hasn't been packaged quite, it hasn't been packaged up yet, but who knows? Maybe they have a document posted somewhere that says that their fish is approved by this council. I don't know, honestly. This kind of sounds like I need to make a field trip to NYC to investigate whether or not they've got this seal of approval. No, but even if you're not going grocery shopping as often, you can still stock up on brain healthy fish by buying frozen seafood. There's a thought, right? And as you know, buying frozen fish will last longer and also tends to be less expensive. Food for thought there. They even say that frozen fish can even be more nutritious than regular fresh fish. And that's because it's typically frozen almost as soon as it's caught, which essentially preserves the nutrients at their peak. So once that fish leaves the water, it starts losing those effects, those nutrients, So when you freeze them right as they're coming right out of the water, and they throw them on ice, like that starts preserving them right off the bat. Again, food for thought. So next time you're at the grocery store and want to fill your cart up with something that will benefit your brain, then you know exactly what you need to do. Go fish, my friend. And so the more you know, the better you'll be. And now with all that said and done, let's switch gears and move on to our second segment with Mighty Man. All right, Mighty Man. So in this week's installment of Mighty Man, we're talking about the 5-minute core shredding workout. So you're probably wondering if this is even possible, right? And well, I mean, realistically, anything's possible if you're consistent with it. Obviously, you ain't gonna do 1 or 2 of these ab sculpting workouts and then have a 6-pack by day 3. That's just not possible. That's not what we're talking about here. What we are talking about is being consistent and doing these exercises during your training sessions, or, to achieve that overall result you're after. And whether you're a workout rookie or just looking to reset your routine, starting a new fitness regimen can be overwhelming. I say it all the time, and I'll say it again because it is, but when we work out together to hold each other accountable and celebrate the small wins, those little wins, science has shown that we can not only stay motivated in the long run, but we can also have more fun in the moment. That's why accountability groups are great. They work well for so many people. And so I put together this 5-minute routine, this 5-minute workout for one of the groups I'm in. And then I shared it with the community, and I gotta tell you, I got some great feedback through both channels. And it's pretty cool too, because you can use this 5-minute workout as a warm-up to a longer format workout. You can up the intensity by doing it double time and then doubling and tripling your sets. You can really get creative with it. I mean, seriously, that's why I really like this. You can take a break from your day for 5 minutes, bust out this workout, and then get back to what you were doing originally. We're really limited only by your imagination, to be honest with you. So let's get right into it. The first exercise is, drum roll, mountain climbers. Yeah, baby. This one's an oldie but a goodie. If you've never done mountain climbers, you don't know what you're missing. So you start off in a plank position, shoulders stacked over hands, your abs tight, your butt down. Once you're set, you're in that position, you're ready to go, bring your knees toward your chest, one at a time, and then back to the starting position, back to that plank position. You want to get a nice controlled movement, one leg at a time, from the starting plank position to the ending knee in your chest position. Think of it as a plank march, if you will. That's the motion. It's kind of like a marching motion. Obviously you're in that plank, but the legs are going to be kind of like in a marching motion. But of course you'll want to take it up a notch, so don't slack too much. You'll want to take that speed up so you actually get a good burn. And I found that a good rhythm for this is somewhere in the 2 knees per second realm, like somewhere in that vicinity, if you will. So as you count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, each Mississippi you'll want 2 knees, left then right. Boom, easy peasy. This gives you all the workout at almost 0 impact. The second exercise in the core shredding routine is the alternating leg lower with a hip lift. So what the heck is all that about? This is one of them compound type of moves where you're working multiple muscle groups at once. It also tests your your coordination, really, So here in this exercise, you start by laying down on your back. Easy, right? Then pop both legs straight up in the air and alternate bringing one leg down towards the ground at a time. And when you bring that lower leg back up, lift your hips when you reach the top. Pretty simple, actually. If you need a little extra lower back support, then place your hands in a little diamond shape under your butt. That's what I do, actually. It gives me a little more support, and I've personally found that I can leverage that support and get really tight, isolated moves to really work the muscles in that area. Super simple exercise, but super duper results for sure. The third core shredding exercise is the bridge to knee drive. So even though you'll be on your back for the rest of this workout, don't get too comfortable. Don't get lazy. Don't get, don't get sloppy on me. These are still ab crushing exercise that'll fit into any fitness training you've got going on. So what we do here with these bridge to knee drives is, again, starting on your back, you'll want to plant your feet flat on the floor. Then bring your hips up into a bridge pose. So far, so good, right? Simple. Now, all you've got to do is reach your arms back behind you and then simply bring one knee to your chest at a time as you exhale and hug it in close with your arm. Boom. These are slower, more controlled movements where you'll want to methodically move through the movement from start to finish on one side and then repeat that on the other. Next up is the knee to elbow sit-ups. Now, this move is more or less the perfect hybrid of a bicycle crunch and a regular sit-up. Really hits your abs in all the right places, if you ask me. But of course, don't take my word for it. I'd rather you try it and then give me some feedback, wink, wink. So anyway, it goes like this. So you start with your feet flat on the floor, no surprise there, and your knees bent like a regular sit-up. Again, no surprise there, right? Now here's where it gets interesting and you get sweaty. So what you want to do is to place your hands behind your head and sit up into a twist. That's what I'm talking about right there. As you twist, bring your elbow to your opposite knee. Or should I say, bring your opposite elbow to the opposite knee. So basically, as you're sitting up and twisting, let's say to the right, you're twisting to the right, what you want to do is bring your left elbow to your right knee and then hold it there for a second because that's where the burn comes in. Then reset and come back up. But this time, twist to the left and bring your right elbow to your left knee. Again, easy peasy. Anybody can do this, And I love these easy to do workouts that work multiple angles on your body, different muscles and all together. It's efficient, you know what I mean? Kind of hard to beat, if you ask me. And now for the last core ripping, ab sculpting, fat melting exercise, we're talking about a simple toe touch. That's it. Health and fitness can be simple, but sometimes it gets lost in all the social media updates and people doing push-ups off walls while, using kettlebells as push-up bars and supported on top of one of those agility boxes. This is no lie. I literally just saw this on Instagram the other day. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, granted, it looked cool, and I guess that was the point, but don't get caught up in that shit. Overall fitness is about commitment and consistency. You show up, you do the work, you go home and rest, and you do it again all over the next day. That's it. But anyway, before I get all worked up about it, we're talking about the toe touch, fellas. So let's get ready to touch them toes, but with a little twist, of course, So for this exercise, we'll start again with your back flat on the floor. And be sure to keep your lower back glued to the mat for this exercise. Now, while you're in that position, you're set, ready to go. Now bring your legs up with your feet pointed to the sky and crunch up to reach your toes. This is similar to one of the earlier exercises, except your legs stay stationary, pointing up to the ceiling, and you're basically crunching your abs to reach your toes. Simple and easy to do. That's how I like it. Now alternate bringing your arms over to your left, then your center, and then to the right to target your lower core and obliques. Did you get that? So again, as you're up in the crunch, bring your arms first to the left, then to the center, and then to the right. Just pick a side and go with it. You can start with the right, and then the center, and then the left, or you can start with the left and go to the center. And I think you got the point, right? I'm telling you, you're really gonna feel this in your obliques and the lower part of your core. And remember, keep your lower back glued to your mat. And there you have it, This is a pretty quick episode, but sometimes that's all you need. And these 5 simple exercises that you can do anytime, anywhere, that'll help chisel up your core real nice, assuming you're already eating right and taking the right supplements. These exercises will do that in no time flat. They go hand in hand, I can't stress that enough. It's critical to have all these pieces aligned just right to get the absolute most effective results. I go into more detail with the community all the time, and so I recommend you get in on it so that you as well are in the know. But having said that, what I like to do with these 5 exercises is simple. Depending on how much time you have available, well, what I do is, I'll do one movement for 45 seconds, then I reset for 15, I rest. Then again, next movement for 45 seconds, and then I rest again for 15. And if you go through all 5, that's a total of 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, you can totally shred your core and work up a nice sweat. And like I said earlier, if you want to up the intensity or length, well, as far as intensity goes, I generally play with the time intervals. So for example, rather than 45 seconds on and 15 off, I'll do 50 seconds on and 10 off. Still, it's 5 minutes, but having that longer workout interval brings that intensity up. You're working out harder. And what you can do is, if you have more time and want to get a better workout in, you can run through the exercises once in 5 minutes and then repeat them and start from the beginning. So just like that, you've got a 10-minute ab shredding workout. And if you really wanted to turn it up, you could triple that to 30 minutes if you wanted to, really. But I think after 30 minutes, you'll be crying to stop. I'm almost absolutely, positively sure after 30 minutes, you'll be done, for a lack of better terms. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't recommend more than a 30-minute session, to be honest with you. Like 15 to 20 minutes is more than enough. Just show up consistently. If you do core today, then skip tomorrow and do it the following day. But don't just skip a day and do nothing. You skip the core day, quote unquote, the core day, but you can work on cardio or legs or arms. You have other body parts you can work. It's really up to you. Just get up, get active, work up that sweat, and let's get that core in shape before summer goes away this year. Let's melt that COVID weight and wipe it off with a towel, baby. And so with all that said and done, that's it, you guys. That's my show for today. I hope you found some valuable information here, and if nothing else, I hope I've entertained you for a few minutes and was able to bring you a little manly sunshine to your day. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to listen to me. It's very much appreciated. On next week's episode, we'll be talking about cheating, or more specifically, cheat meals versus cheat days. So fellas, if you've been cheating on your diet, then you definitely do not want to miss next week's episode. And if you love what you heard in today's episode and want more actionable topics just like these, then you, my friend, need to be in the conversation with me and the rest of the community by heading on over to podcast.daspination.com/VIP to enroll in our Insiders community, where I share exclusive, raw behind-the-scenes stories, tips, and hacks that'll keep you feeling younger and younger each and every day. That's podcast.daspination.com/VIP. Again, that's podcast.dasmanation.com/VIP. Be in the know starting right now. Also, don't forget to rate me on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you're listening to this episode right now. And leave me a nice, fat, juicy 5-star review. And some absolutely beautiful words of why you love the show so much. It really helps me get the word out, and it's honestly the one place where your vote really matters. Until our next chat, take care now. Bye.